I had the great privilege of being the speaker, the keynote speaker, accompanied by President Bush and President Clinton up in Shanksville and then at the Pentagon. We praised the firefighters and the police officers. This ain't your father's fire department. Your firefighters have to learn how to deal with terrorism. They get schooled on that. Your cops have to know. It's not going to be somebody in a Green Beret or someone who is a Special Forces guy is going to find the guy putting sarin gas into the air conditioning system where the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing. It's going to be a local cop. And we're cutting these guys. We're cutting them. Look, this whole plan is fully paid for. In the end, it's all about choices, about priorities. My dad used to have an expression when I'd say, but Dad, I thought, he said, Joey, if everything's equally important to you, nothing's important to you. If everything's equally important to you, nothing's important to you. John Boehner's a good friend. I've done a lot of negotiating with John. Some successful, some not so successful. But he recently made a speech. He talked about how we can't afford all these special interest tax cuts and tax breaks. But he hadn't agreed on eliminating one single solitary one. We can't afford everything. We've got to make a choice on some of the things. Look, we can either use $30 billion to keep 280,000 teachers in the classroom, or we can preserve a $54 billion tax loophole for oil companies, and they're not bad guys. I want them making money. If I'm not mistaken, first quarter, I think profit was $38 billion, second quarter, $39 billion. They come and testify before the Congress and say, we don't need this extra break. And we say, no, we're going to give it to you anyway. I don't get it. It's a choice. It's not about punishment. It's not about class warfare. It's just about when things are tough, you make choices. We can either spend $5 billion to keep all those cops and firefighters on the job. We keep them all on the job for this bill we have. And we can do it, or we can keep it when a corporate jet takes off. It pays nothing to take off when it flies out of the Cleveland airport. 747 takes off with passengers. The air traffic controller has to follow the same dots. No difference. So if corporate jets just paid $100 to take off, and I have met one corporate jet owner or private jet owner who says I wouldn't be prepared to do that. That's $11 billion raised in 10 years. When things change, we've got to change policies. For example, I was part of a group that said, look, in order to keep the airplane industry, private airplane industry in this country, a lot of it in Kansas, I might add. I know I'm not in Kansas. A lot of it in Kansas, meaning locally. What happened? We said, okay, well, we're going to incentivize people to buy these private aircraft. So what did we do? We said you can depreciate a commercial jet over 7 years. Well, if you buy a private one, you can do it over 5 years. Well, if you just now, that's not our problem now. So if you just rationalize it, they both could write off over 7 years instead of 1.5, that's $5 billion raised. $5 billion. We can repair and modernize 35,000 schools for $25 billion or eliminate tax loopholes for hedge fund managers. And a lot of this, not a bad joke, a lot of these guys are my friends. A lot of them are, a lot of them are Democrats. They're socially liberal people. Well, they're paying at 15% now. Does anybody think, you corporate guys, you think that makes sense? They're playing with your money, not theirs. So if you just increased it to 20%, you didn't even rationalize it to pay what you paid, 28%. Just increase it slightly, that's $12.5 billion. Look, one of the business owners we've talked about, I talked to before I came here today, and he told me, and I know him, he proudly said that he's Republican, always voted Republican. He didn't even usually do what they do and say, but I voted for you, Joe. He didn't even say that part. And then he told us that he didn't think, he told me, he said, I don't think it matters whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, but that the SBA has been very good to him, and that he wanted to see his company grow, but more importantly, he wanted to see the country succeed. The reality is he's absolutely right. At a time like this, and it sounds corny, sounds like a pat line, we're not Democrats and Republicans. That doesn't matter a whole lot. We want your business to succeed because we know when you succeed, you hire Americans. We want every box to be like the one here at Raptite, literally stamped on the side with Made in America on it. That's not chauvinistic. There's no reason why it can't be. There's no reason why it can't. I remember Marcy and Dennis and I got in a lot of trouble because we thought that we insisted the auto companies reorganize, and if they did, they could, in fact, make money. They're doing just fine. They're paying back their loans. Where is it written that said America can't lead the world in automobile production in the 21st century? I don't know where that's written. So, folks, this is going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight about who we are as a country, what we believe in as Americans, and the President and I are ready for the fight, and for the people of Ohio and for the middle class to join that fight, because we can win this fight. We can win this fight. There is absolutely no reason why we cannot. I'll conclude by saying, and I've deliberately, because I think it's important the story be out, talk longer than I was originally going to talk. Folks, I just got back from China, as I said. A lot of Americans and a lot of Buckeyes right here think that China's already eaten our lunch. Well, let me tell you something. When I went to China, no one asked me to explain anything. I didn't go to explain anything. I told them that they don't want to buy our T-bills, no problem. Go somewhere else. They're not going anywhere else because they're the most stable outfit in the world, politically and economically. They own a total of 1% of our financial assets, to put this in perspective. If you listen to the people talk, you think China owns it all. They have 8% of the T-bills that are out there. We owe 99% of this is owned by 84% is owned by Americans. Some by other countries as well. Folks, our economy is 2.5 times as large as theirs. Larger than the next 3 economies combined. They talk about us having to deal with entitlements. We have, and we must, and we will. But God forbid you are going to become the leader of China. Because of that onerous one-child policy, they now have one person working to support 4 retired people. And they have no safety net. It took them, and I want them to grow, it took them 30 years to get 20% of their population out of abject poverty. Guys, we're better positioned than any country in the world to dominate the 21st century. So, and there's no chauvinism in that. The point I made in China is, I want China to grow. It's overwhelmingly in our interest for China to grow. Remember that old joke about Willie Sutton? They once asked him why he robbed banks. He said, because that's where the money is. I want China and India and other countries to grow because that's where the people are. So we can sell them our products fairly on a level playing field. So folks, this is a start. This is important. It's one business with the 30 million all across America. And if we keep at it, I don't have a doubt in my mind that we're going to come out of this stronger than we went in it. I thank you all for listening to me. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.